dodging bullets, baby.
This is beyond fairy tale. It's inconceivable.
There it is. Doyle's done it.
Eastgate steps into poker history.
This is the greatest sport in the world.
You have survived 4 days of the main event.
Yes.
You have outlasted 90% of the field.
Woo!
You have fought your way into the money.
Yes.
But today, you're only halfway there. If you're a former champion,
Maybe Australian ring.
a top pro,
All in.
or an online phenom, you are picturing the coveted bracelet on your wrist.
Yes.
Yet, 400 others still remain, each thinking they could be the one, each braced for the task that lies ahead. Because everyone is only halfway there. Welcome to the 40th Annual World Series of Poker, presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Along with Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran. The main event field has been whittled down to just over 400 players.
Never in my life would I dream that I'd be here right now.
And what a field it is. Two have been competing against each other their entire lives. And today, Dan and Adam Bilzerian are at the same table.
He's so lucky.
Bobby Baldwin, Dan Harrington, Peter Eastgate, and Joe Hashem are the four players left trying to recapture former glory.
Gentlemen, good morning.
Phil Ivey is one of several big names still in the hunt, hoping a top pro can return to the main event winner's circle. And at the featured table, several pros, including Jeff Schulman, who finished 7th in 2000, Andrew Black, who finished 5th in 2005, and online wunderkind Elke Grospellier.
One of the chip leaders in the room, one of the more dangerous players in the room.
Main event bracelet seems closer to each one every day.
Jeff, did you go to UW?
I did.
I live in Everett.
There you go.
There, yeah, big hustle. Yeah.
Schulman was born in Seattle, attended University of Washington, or UW.
UW, is it? University of Dublin.
Andrew Black is from Belfast, Ireland.
I'm honorary.
Everyone's honorary. If you got a pulse, you're an honorary Irishman.
I believe Elke went to the University of StarCraft, and they are the Raging Cajuns.
Action is on Jeff Schulman. On the Jack Link's Beef Jerky pocket cam, Jeff looks down at 8-4 offsuit, and he'll fold that.
Schulman looks surly.
Elke Grospellier, Queen 7, into the muck.
Well, all you need to do is get some boot polish, and you'd look like a pint of Guinness there with that haircut.
Well, Guinness draft.
Andrew Black very comfortable. His 5th cash at this World Series with one final table.
Ace-Jack offsuit. He's going to raise it up to 24,000.
A very international feature table here. Foreigners have the Americans outnumbered 6-3.
And Randy Propson at this table is from Denmark, Wisconsin.
A hybrid.
Scott Fuller with ace-king in the small blind.
Fuller's a train conductor on the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad from Lincoln, Nebraska to Kansas City.
I'm all in.
And that train's going all in right now.
They've got a great dining car.
Back to Black.
Would you like me to call, sir?
143,000 more.
You know, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter because it's late in the tournament, or it doesn't matter
No,
because...
no. We're just getting started.
Andrew Black fishing for a little information.
Aye. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your hand? I'm a big hand here, you know.
I'd have to rate Buller's hand higher than yours, Andrew.
Give me something.
Buller says it's just like the train. You got to pay to come along for the ride.
I call.
And he's going to pay to see that he's behind. And about half of Andrew Black's chips at risk.
Now it's a good time to get lucky.
Buller thinks it's a good time to double up.
Come on, the jack.
That would be a good card for Black. His ace-jack against the ace-king of Buller. The flop 4, deuce 9.
Please give me a diamond to make it exciting.
Andrew Black pleading for some good luck. He's now a 4-1 dog.
Turn card now. Another deuce. Not the worst card for Andrew.
Well, now if a 4 or 9 hits the board, they'll chop the pot. Otherwise, Black can only knock out Buller with a river jack.
It's an 8, and Buller will double up through Andrew Black. So the luck of the Cornhusker outkicks the Irish as Andrew Black hits a bump in the road early here on day 5. Norman, 8 days of play will get us to our November 9, and now that we're halfway there, it's a good time to step back and take note of some of the stunning names still left in this field, including a very impressive one at our featured table.
Lon, one of the big stacks in the room is one of the best players on the planet.
Oh, Bertrand Elke Grospellier may not roll off your tongue, but he has shown the poker world he is equally adept online and in living color. He's going to be around for a long, long time, so get to know his name. But if it's okay with you, I'm just going to call him Elke.
Elke, one of the many foreign players that make up this year's World Series of Poker. Just 3 chips in play right now. The newest, the dark green chip, worth $25,000. The chip average is at $479,000. The player who has accumulated the most chips, Matt Affleck in the Mariners jersey. He currently goes to UW and is over $2 million.
Apparently today is laundry day. The Mariners jersey, the only clean shirt Affleck's got.
Across the room, the reigning main event champ, Peter Eastgate, is all in before the flop. Action to 51-year-old Kevin Schaffel from Coral Springs, Florida. And Schaffel will lay it down.
Eastgate somehow sticking around with a modest chip stack. The last player to win back-to-back main events, Johnny Chan in 1987 and 88.
If Eastgate does go back-to-back, he'll have to go through 13,000 more players than Chan did. Phil Ivey began this day with almost 1.3 million chips. Right now, he's in a hand with Elad Magadov, who checked after the turn.
And I assume that player next to Phil Ivey is a surgeon on call.
Ivey now has chips in hand. 3 green, 1 orange, 80,000 chips.
Ivey had raised pre-flop and also bet the flop.
Magadov announces he's going to check raise.
Come on, man.
200,000 total.
It's possible the masked man has a fear of germs. It's possible he has a fear of Phil Ivey.
Who doesn't? 120,000 more for Phil to call.
Well, that check raise has momentarily stopped Phil Ivey in his tracks.
Ivey will commit those chips to see a river.
Big pot now, more than $500,000 in there.
River card now is another jack. Magadov checks the river.
Is the masked man chewing gum?
Magadov has about 340,000 left. Ivey checks. Magadov shows he's got jacks and 6s, 2 pair, and he'll take the pot.
And Magadov didn't have much. A bet on the river could have taken that down. I am not happy with my poker protege.
He gets the best of Phil Ivey, a rare feat this year.
Maybe my man should borrow a mask. It couldn't hurt.
That is not how he wants to start his day here. Ivey was in contention for Player of the Year, as was the man seated at table 2, Vitaly Lunkin. He won the 40K event, final table the 50K horse tourney. He's seated here with bracelet winner Prahlad Friedman. Prahlad with Queen 4. He will not play that. Action on Andrew Lichtenberger from New York, 21-year-old pro.
And the 21-year-old already is making No Limit Hold'em training video.
10-5 of hearts, a raise to 20,000 from the man better known as Lucky Chewy online. Vitaly Lunkin on the button, ace-8.
Lunkin this year cashed 5 times in the World Series and made 3 final tables. Lichtenberger in his first World Series ever cashed 5 times and made a final table too.
Lunkin re-raises to 60,000. The blinds fold.
Like 240 behind.
I guess that's a yes.
I'm all in.
And that would put Vitaly Lunkin all in.
Indeed, with a deeper voice than I expected. Lichtenberger trying to bully the smaller stack with 10-5 suited.
A risky play from Lichtenberger. Vitaly Lunkin, a decision for all his chips.
Seems to me you are bluffing.
Seems to me he doesn't shave yet.
I have weak hand, but I seems to me you are bluffing. I give coin. If this side I call, fold.
Another coin?
Okay,
Sounds good.
I don't think that's a U.S. coin. This shouldn't count.
call.
He's going to flip a coin for his chips.
I guess his hand's a coin flip.
On its
It's not
edge.
call. Okay, I fold. Can't I look?
Oh, he folds.
Nah,
No.
I can't show you. You're too good.
Well, that's not how Vitaly won a bracelet on over $2.5 million at this World Series, but the coin did guarantee his main event will continue. Back at the Rio for day 5 of the main event. We're down to 400 players and still some familiar faces out there. A couple of pros seated together. Bracelet winner Antonio Esfandiari seated next to 2-time bracelet winner Bert Boutin, who was put out a raise, and everybody folds.
Take the money, doctor. Take the money.
Everybody's a doctor.
He's the only man in the world that's never had a losing session.
Antonio's brothers also in this field. Antonio swapped out the Y on their last name for an I because he said it looked better. Another pair of brothers also in the field. Venture capitalists Adam and Dan Bilzerian seated next to each other.
That would be like Fidel and Raul Castro sitting next to each other at Karl Marx roast. And is this the dermatologist again?
That is Alex Jalali. He's in a hand with Adam Bilzerian. Matt Waxman
All in.
has decided to move all in.
Waxman's cashed 4 times this World Series.
Adam Bilzerian now.
I'm on. All in.
Re-raises to put Jalali all in. And Jalali folds. Waxman at risk. Shows Jack. Adam shows Ace-King.
All in and go.
Oh, did you really?
It's a race. Waxman's got blinkers on.
And there's an ace to put a dagger in Waxman's hopes.
Boy, that flop fell right in front of Waxman. You don't think he wanted to toss that ace away?
Turn card now is a 4. No help to Waxman.
Bilzerian poised for the knockout. Waxman needs a jack to stay alive.
The river card now is a face card, but it's a queen. Bilzerian wins the hand. Matt Waxman knocked out in 399th place.
And Waxman very, very polite after busting out.
So Waxman will take home over $27,000. Adam Bilzerian has chipped up to almost $1.4 million.
Adam was a history major, graduated from Vanderbilt University.
He's had a nice start to this day 5. Let's get back to the feature table where Andrew Black is still stinging from doubling up Scott Buller earlier on. Action, though, on Tim Kallmeyer, 28-year-old German pro with pocket 4s. And a raise to $21,000. Buller with pocket kings this time.
Choo-choo.
He is loving day 5 so far.
I raise.
Re-raise with those kings.
The train conductor with plenty of open track in front of him.
And he will re-raise it to $76,000.
All right, 55 on top.
Jeff Schulman
76 total.
looks down at 7-6.
Rags.
And rags do go where rags belong. Grospellier now. Elke with that big stack with pocket aces.
That's a train stopper.
That's a train wreck for Buller. Grospellier will re-raise the action to $177,000.
The former pro gamer, second in the World Cyber Games in 2001, fourth in 02, fifth in 03, but I'll play Pac-Man against him anytime, anywhere.
Kallmeyer gets rid of his 4s.
I'm all in.
Buller pushes, and a quick call from Elke. Kings against the aces.
That was bang bang, and the train conductor's been derailed.
Grospellier positioned to pick up a lot of new chips. So here we go. Buller at risk. Queen 10 tray.
Jack of diamonds.
Oh, don't do that.
The king of clubs.
Buller, in for his main event life, needs help in a hurry.
He'll take either king, I'm sure. Turn card. Oh, the king of clubs.
What did I call for?
King of clubs?
Buller ahead.
You really said the king of clubs,
I
right?
did. Yes, I did. I said
Does
the
that
king
work?
of clubs.
Elke now needs an ace or a jack to knock out Scott Buller.
River card is a deuce of diamonds, and Buller's 3 kings crack Elke's aces.
The bad beat cost Elke $325,000 of his chips.
One-time chip leader below $1 million now.
That's how you lose tournaments, I guess.
And how you win them. The Nebraska train conductor is on track and running over this feature table so far, leaving top pros in his wake shaking their heads.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Main event.
Welcome back to the Rio. Let's get right over to table 2. Vitaly Lunkin seems to have put away his coin for the moment as he waits on Prahlad Friedman. Prahlad looks down at ace 10 offsuit on the button.
This is Friedman's first cash at the World Series since he finished 20th in the main event in 2006.
A raise to $23,000 from an early star in the online poker world. Folded over to Lunkin. Vitaly. Queen 4.
I want to believe Lunkin's the real deal. He had a spectacular World Series and he's won bracelets in back-to-back years, but it just seems like he's running real lucky.
All in.
And the big blind, he re-raises all in.
Queen high, 20 big blinds left, he pushes. And this would be for more than 1/3 of Prahlad's remaining stack.
Lunkin has made a lot of his opponents during this World Series skittish.
I don't think Vitali wants a call here.
And Friedman lays it down.
Friedman didn't like his ace, and Lundkin gets a little healthier.
But below the chip average of 493,000. All right, let's move across the room. Phil Ivey is tangling with Elad Magadoff again after a flop of 4 King 5. Magadoff just bet 125,000.
Come on, Phil, you've got position on this guy. He's wearing a shirt one size too small. Let's take advantage of it.
He took some chips from Phil earlier. Phil will make the call here.
I can live with a call there.
This is Magadoff's first World Series cash. For Phil, his 36th. Turn card now is another 5. Magadoff checks.
Come on, Phil, attack.
Nope, he checks. River card is another king. Magadoff now reaching for chips. 175,000.
Magadoff taking it to Ivy again.
Phil not quite sure what to do with this guy, and he lays it down. Magadoff shows him his hand. What's he got? He's got a full house.
Hey, Phil, have I picked Elad Magadoff to win the main event the last 7 years? Maybe I should have. Come on, Phil. Stop hemorrhaging chips to these unknown wannabes.
Not a good day for Ivy so far, giving up over $500,000 of his stack. There's Pasha Esfandiari, the younger brother. He's all in with pocket aces, but Scott Citron flopped a set of 5s.
I called on the backdoor outs. I knew you had me, but I called on the backdoor outs.
Yeah, smart.
Turn card now is a deuce. Esfandiari picks up a straight draw.
So he needs an ace or a 3 to stick around.
It is a 10 on the river, and Pasha Esfandiari will say goodbye.
Good game, man. Good game.
Citron knocks out the younger Esfandiari. He wins over 27,000. Nearby, Big Brother saw what happened.
My brother busted. Very sad. Right now.
Antonio's not in this hand, but at the same table, Bert Boutin is in a 3-way pot after the river. That is Estelle Denny, one of the 6 women left in the field. She just bet 18,000 into a pot of 363,000. Action is on Chris Bach.
Let's do it.
You may recall Bach from his battles with Joe Hashem earlier in the main event.
He's going to raise it up enough to put Bert Boutin all in. Bert emphatically calls.
There's a green chip in there, yeah?
Denis folds.
Nuts.
Bert shows the nut flush.
Oops.
Yeah, oops.
And Bert Boutin takes a victory lap.
Yeah, he more than doubled up. He's one happy man, and there are 2 sad men of broke Pasha Esfandiari being consoled by his older brother, Antonio.
All right, I'll bring you home for the family. You too.
Elsewhere, it was bound to happen. An all Bill Zarian hand. Adam on the left and his older brother Dan after the flop. Adam checks. And that is Dan betting 35,000.
Boy, I hope this isn't like Cain and Abel.
The younger brother trying to figure out what he's up against.
Cain was a farmer, Abel was a shepherd. These guys are venture capitalists, which is sort of like farming and shepherding indoors.
Adam will lay it down to Dan Bilzerian.
I pocketed jacks.
Nah, he's a liar and a weasel, bro.
Dude, I look like a man who's beaten by jacks.
While Dan Bilzerian trained to be a Navy SEAL, his brother Adam also took an extreme path, but in another direction. He'll be the first to say it wasn't easy, but he did what he believed in.
Senior year of college, I started to become politically aware. I'm in between like a Republican and a Democrat. I'm a Republican on a lot of gun and tax issues, and I'm a Democrat on a lot of drug and those kind of issues. I just believe in freedom. I don't believe that government should have control over everybody's life and dictate everything to everybody. It's a principle of control. It's unconstitutional. And I wrote a book about it. It's America, Love It or Leave It. And then so I left. I renounced my citizenship. St. Kitts is my official residence. Of course, it's extreme. Like, only 800 people do it. The road that I've taken's been really hard. I gave up a lot. My life's been pretty miserable for the last 2.5 years, not going back. All my family and friends are here. I couldn't travel back. I miss home. The only reason why I'm here is because my brother wanted to go to Vegas. You know, he wanted to play in the tournament, and to want to hang out with my brother, who I really missed. When I knew I was coming back, when I got that visa, it was like the greatest day of my life. This has been too much trouble than it was worth. If I were to tell somebody else, I would say it's not worth it. And you don't appreciate what you have till it's gone.
Adam obtained his visa in order to visit his sick grandmother. The World Series was an afterthought so he could spend time with his brother Dan.
It's still stunning to me that these 2 brothers, by random draw, ended up not only at the same table, but ending up sitting next to each other. Just amazing. Back to the featured table and the Jack Link's Beef Jerky wild card hand as you play along at home to try and guess what the concealed cards are. Over to Francois Balmigère. Lives in France. He has King Jack offsuit.
He's a poker coach. Lon, I could swear everyone in poker other than you and me is a coach, instructor, or trainer. We're just stupid.
A raise to 22,000.
22.
Action on Jeff Schulman. 8 deuce.
Jeff Schulman owns a poker magazine. He publishes coaching.
He and Elke fold. It's on Rolf Slotboom, poker pro from Amsterdam. He folds. Action on Andrew Black. He has the wild card hand.
I'm all in.
I'm supposed to figure out a Buddhist hand?
Whatever it is, he moved all in.
Okay, you're Francois Balmigère. Andy Black knows you raised from early position, so he's got to put you on a good hand. Andrew's got only 20 big blinds left. He has blown up before. He's capable of pushing with anything, but I think he's pushing with at least a medium pair or any ace. In either case, I'm beat. I'd fold.
Is that right?
Balmigère folds. Good call, Norman. And ace-queen for Andrew.
Come on, Ireland.
Come on, poker coach Norman Chad. I nailed it.
Black wins the Jack Link's Beef Jerky wild card hand.
Wouldn't want to leave the table without winning the hand.
That's no limit hold'em today. A pre-flop shove by Black earns him some chips.
The World Series of Poker presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Main event.
Back to the Rio, 370 players remain. 6 of them are women, and one of those women is Nicole Pepe.
Nicole is married to fellow poker pro Tad Jurgens.
So far, Nicole's chip stack moving in the wrong direction, across the room.
Kara Scott Chad.
Called the all-in of Jameen Stokes, his pocket kings against her ace-king. One card to come. The river card is a queen, and so Stokes will double up through Kara Scott.
Is it everything?
She has cashed at back-to-back main events, but Kara Scott Chad should be a little more careful with our money.
She's left with fewer than 100,000 chips. One of the remaining women may be on her way out. Marla Schwartz at risk. Her 10s against Pat O'Malley's now set of jacks.
Ace, 9, 10.
Oh, I'm going to miss this, Lon.
9 or 10. 9 or ace. Oh, my
It's a deuce on the river. Marla Schwartz eliminated.
Wow.
That must have been...
All right, guys. Have fun. Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Who's going to shout all the outs for us now?
Only 5 women left now in the 2009 main event. Back to the featured table, Andrew Black looking to get something going today.
Do you want to tell us and the rest of the world what this thing is?
It's a scepter.
Tesla machine.
Time machine.
And he wishes there were a time machine. Go back to 05, he'd have millions of chips.
But then he'd have to live through his meltdown all over again.
Action will start on Jeff Schulman. Jeff with pocket deuces.
The first time Schulman ever played in the main event in 2000, he made the final table. He finished 7th.
He limps in for 8,000 on Elke Grospellier. Ace-9 of spades.
Elke says his pro gaming career is behind him. It's poker from here on in.
Such a stellar run up to day 5. Elke was expecting big things, but it's been a dry day for him. Action on Tim Kallmeyer.
Kallmeyer does some online coaching in Potlam in Omaha.
Folded around to Francois Balmigère. Ace-10 of diamonds.
That jacket's a very thin cut.
To the small blind, he calls Randy Propson, our Denmark-Wisconsin player in the big blind. King-6, and he'll check his option.
Propson graduated from the University of Wisconsin, says he's one of the world's 8 best Yahtzee players. Yeah, Yahtzee.
4 to the flop. Jack 8-7. Nobody hits a pair. Schulman's best with his deuces. Grospellier missed. Balmigère with a gut shot straight draw, and he checks.
3 players had 5 overcards to Schulman's deuces, and the flop missed them all. I checked the deck.
Checked over to Schulman with the smallest of pocket pairs. Bets 20,000. Why not?
Schulman says, let's see who wants to play.
Elke Grospellier gives it up. Over to the other Frenchman at this table, Balmigère now. Balmigère with a gut shot straight draw, and he gives it up. So now it's left up to Randy Propson.
No Yahtzee here.
Randy Propson folds his rag. Schulman's deuces were best, and he will win that small pot.
Easy money.
It's running pretty good, right? Or is it mostly skill?
Huh?
Mostly skill or just running?
Well, you know, I've been like focusing it on the last few nights and thinking like what hands I'd like.
You should read magazines. They're a really good tool.
I try not to read. It's overrated.
Obviously tongue-in-cheek, as Jeff and his father operate the longest-running poker magazine. It's now one of the many sources for the avid poker fan, but when the Schulmans first got into the business, it was a bit of a different world.
I'm the owner and operator of Card Player Magazine. Poker's grown so much in the last 5 years that we were there forever, and we were like the only way to expose these poker players. Luckily, because of Card Player, I was able to meet tons of poker players, Daniel Negreanu and John Juanda and Alan Cunningham and Phil Ivey, and it really makes it a much quicker learning curve when you have the best players in the world teaching you. I'm not in the same boat as all these guys. They've all done extremely well at poker, and I've kind of sat on the sidelines. I just can't believe these people that are famous now. My friends are now famous.
What's up?
Now they're all celebrities. I like to just kind of sit back and avoid everything if possible. And now I'm just trying to play and hang with the rest of the group.
I personally don't love it, but Jeff's beard makes him look like a real poker player. He is friends with the finest players in the world. On the other side of the coin, he's also best friends with Adam Schoenfeld.
Back to table 2, where Vitaly Lunkin is still struggling to get some main event momentum. Action is on Carter Swidler. Looks down at pocket nines.
Swidler says he enjoys sitting around doing nothing. Sounds like my next intern.
He raises the action to 21,000 to Vitaly Lunkin. Vitaly looks down at ace queen.
Ace queen is a loser. How many times I gotta tell you?
What's so funny?
Okay, last time, all in.
All in.
He's all in with the ace queen.
All right, I need another count. What was it at last time?
No, I hope last time, yeah.
Well, Lunkin's chipped up some. He's got 30 big blinds right now.
What's it at, though?
Swidler needs 214,000 more to call.
Lunkin's all in with a better hand this time than last time.
All right, I call.
And with his pocket nines, Carter Swidler will put Vitaly Lunkin at risk.
Good luck, boy. I need to hold.
Oh, of course, call.
Lunkin in a race behind for his tournament life.
And now the flop. It is queen, jack, ace. Lunkin knows how to make ace queen sing.
This Lunkin will outflop you, outturn you, or outriver you.
It's a deuce on the turn. Swidler a long shot.
Swidler needs a 9 to dispose of Lunkin.
It is a tray on the river. Lunkin will win and double up to almost $500,000.
Swidler's chips will transfer over to the Russian. He runs good. He runs very good. If he ran for president of the United States, I'd like Vitaly Lunkin's chances.
He didn't need the coin that time. No Russian has ever won the main event, but with that double up, Vitaly keeps the dream alive.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Jackling's Beef Jerky. Main event.
Back inside the Rio, that's what our remaining players are shooting for, the coveted main event bracelet. At the feature table with ace-5 of clubs, Francois Balmigère is all in after the flop against Scott Buller, who has pocket kings again. Balmigère picked up straight and flush draws. Turn card is a 10 of clubs. Balmigère will win the hand and double up.
King's no good for Buller this time. Balmigère, Vitaly Lunkin's the turn and doubles up.
So Buller's kings pay a big price, and he's the one who's doubling up someone. Balmigère having a good day 5 so far.
How did you know?
Yeah, sure it is.
No, I made a mistake. I said it was 2 aces. You know, that's why I re-raised those again.
Yeah, no, in America, the aces look different. It's tough.
Oh, he thought he had aces. A few years ago, I thought I had a future.
So what happened to main event champs the year after they won? 4 went back-to-back, 8 cashed in the main event, including defending champ Peter Eastgate, who's still alive. There was 2005 champ Joe Hashem, who cashed the year after he won the big one. He's in a hand right now on the flop. Joe decides to lay this one down. And his opponent shows aces. Nice fold, Joe.
I could have. I
was like, why can't you could have
I had a few outs.
3 other main event champs still in the field. One of them is all in yet again. Peter Eastgate shoved on the flop of 4 ace-jack against Paul Johnson. Johnson gives it up.
It just seems like Eastgate has been short-stacked for days on end. A very gritty title defense for the youngest main event champ ever.
Eastgate's still below the chip average of 540,000. But when it comes to making deep runs in the main event, Dan Harrington's name stands out. The 95 champ put out a bet, and he will take down that pot. He may be older than the average player, but never count Dan out, especially when wearing that lucky green Red Sox cap. But Dan, what's up with the neck brace?
I woke up one day, I guess I slept incorrectly, and maybe it was from strained neck muscles. Now I'm sitting there all day long, my head hanging over the poker table. I talked to some of the younger players.
You remind me of when I graduated from the 8th grade.
And they say, yeah, we feel the strain too. They were hoping I was seriously injured and maybe I couldn't last.
I'm all in.
Experience is my greatest weapon. This later stage of a tournament is more like a chess game. You're ducking, you're dodging, you're maneuvering, you're trying to move the pieces on the board.
I wish I had that.
You have to look at the pace of the tournament and try to go with the flow.
I'll give it to you. Good hand.
When you get towards the end, the adrenaline kicks in and you just can't help but think, boy, it really would be nice to get to the final table, to do it one more time. Then I will say that I had a great run in this tournament.
He's finished first, third, fourth, and sixth at the main event. Wow.
To 1978 world champ Bobby Baldwin, who was almost this year's bubble boy, but he's looking to double up here. His jacks against the 10s of Julian Bricard. Here's the flop, and there's a 10. Bricard hits a set to put Baldwin on the edge.
Between 1978 and 94, Baldwin had 6 top 30 finishes in the main event.
He needs help on the river.
He'll need a jack.
The river card is a 5. Bricard wins and knocks off Poker Hall of Famer Bobby Baldwin. So now we're down to just 3 world champions in the field. Back to table 2. Vitaly Lunkin has to be a little more comfortable after his recent rally. Action on Carter Swidler, who doubled up the tally a short bit ago. Ace-10.
Swidler just 22, hopes to
21.
Open an online business using his poker winnings.
He raises to 21,000 on Prahlad Friedman, ace-queen of diamonds.
Prahlad, one of the early online legends. Nice to see him back on top of his game and playing live. Spirit
Rock, as he's known online, calls for 21,000. Next in line, Vitaly Lunkin. He gives it up. Everyone else does.
That cough is a tell. I think he has a cold.
Here's the flop. It is 5-10 ace Swidler with top 2 pair. Friedman just a pair of aces. 30,000 from Carter Swidler.
Swidler bets about half the pot.
Friedman with top pair, which is second best, with a min raise to 60,000.
What's a min raise?
It's the minimum you can raise.
Oh, you learn something every day.
Back to Swidler now with top 2.
I'm all in.
And a max raise.
And the max raise would be for most of Prahlad's chips.
Practicing your favorite hobby? I looked this guy up online. It's one of his favorite hobbies is tilting.
That's online tilting. I wouldn't tilt in the main event.
You wouldn't?
You got to give me a bit of credit.
I've got to give Prahlad credit for scouting his table mates online.
What do you have?
I got a good hand.
I'm already all in. You could tell me. I
guess you're supposed to have ace king or might have ace jack of hearts.
Maybe kings. I don't believe that you have an ace.
Nice lie, buddy. I have a feeling I might have you beat, but I think you might have a huge draw.
Very friendly conversation with this much at stake.
You have a made hand?
Oh, it's made.
No more talking?
All right, now.
Swidler got too quiet for Prahlad's taste there.
Prahlad lays it down.
Sure.
And the ace-10 will be good enough to take that pot.
Swidler out-flopped Friedman, and now will enjoy his chips.
Carter Swidler will not open his hand, but does siphon a few chips from Friedman, who made the right fold. A key part of a pro's poker arsenal is realizing when a laydown is the best move. Friedman dodged a bullet there. Welcome back to the 40th World Series of Poker main event. 355 players remain, but only one Esfandiari in the field. Antonio has been moved to Lou Diamond Phillips' stable. He's watching as LDP has Scott Baumstein dominated and at risk. Turn card is a 6. Phillips still ahead.
Baumstein picks up a straight draw. The 25-year-old grad student from NYU can stay alive now with a 5 or a 4.
And now the river card. It is the 4. Baumstein hits his straight to double up through Lou Diamond Phillips.
Wow.
Baumstein counts his blessings.
Despite the punishment he's taken, Phillips has an above-average tip stack. Another actor, Justin Henry, also has a player at risk on the flop. Henry with 2 queens against the 2 jacks of Odie Darden, and the turn gives Darden a straight.
So Justin Henry now would need a 10 to make a higher straight in order to knock out Darden.
And now the river card. It's another jack, and Darden will double up. Hollywood taking a beating out there.
These actors should go on strike. They're losing income.
Back to the grind.
He's lost almost 250,000 chips today. Back to the featured table. Day 5 has not been kind to Elke Grospellier, although he is still healthy in chips. Andrew Black also has had a rough go of it so far, down to under 200,000. Jeff Schulman so far is holding his own. Action is on Jeff on the Jack Link's Beef Jerky Pocket Cam. King Queen offsuit.
Schulman says he used to be aggressive, but has laid low for most of the main event.
He raises it to 25,000 with his King Queen. Elke Grospellier has 2 queens. Elke just calls.
Elke laying low there, choosing the smooth call with his queens.
Elke works out as a kickboxer. The French are very good at kickboxing. Andrew Black, 10-7 off.
One of Andrew Black's weaknesses, not being able to change gears at the right time. He kept pushing at the 05 main event final table, and it cost him.
He folded there. Scott Buller, 9-8 of spades.
Buller was runner-up at this year's seniors event here. It had a field of 2,707. And Lon, that didn't even include your dead money.
I couldn't get the loan. Buller made the call. Propson now with 8-6 off.
Propson says he actually makes good money from gambling at Yahtzee. Are there underground Yahtzee clubs?
Never seen one.
You wouldn't see one. They're underground.
Propson called. 4 players will see the flop. Elke's best with the queens. The flop is ace, jack, trey. Grospellier's pocket queens are still best. Buller with a flush draw. Propson got nothing, almost drawing dead. Propson checks. Jeff Schulman now needs a 10 to make a straight. And he checks. Elke's got the best hand with queens, but both he and Buller check. That ace is a scare card. 5 of hearts on the turn. Grospellier's still best. Propson now drawing dead.
You know, in Yahtzee, he's never drawn dead.
Nope, he's not, but he checks. Schulman now. The pot's hanging out there like a big pinata.
Well, Schulman says he's not that aggressive anymore, but he senses apathy all around him and looks like he's going to take some initiative here.
He will take a shot and bet 65,000, more than half the pot.
He's just on a draw.
Elke with 2 queens is in the lead.
Elke's had the best hand all along, but he's played this hand like he can't remember if he left the water running in the bathtub at home.
He lays down the queens, but doesn't look happy about it.
Schulman's gotten the best hand out, so Jeff's king is now the best hand.
Buller folds it. So with those players out, Propson not drawing dead, but drawing thin.
Now he's back from the dead momentarily.
And he does fold, and Jeff Schulman will take that pot.
Well, all you got to do is put your chin out there and see if anyone takes a swipe at it.
Every time you raise, so I'm going to ask if you had it.
And I'm always going to have it until I'm out, of course.
Until I get looked up, I guess.
So far, so good for the poker media mogul Jeff Schulman. One player who earned a lot of ink and money this year is Vitaly Lunkin over at table 2. Vitaly raised pre-flop under the gun to 22,000 with 2 aces. Actions now folded to the button, and Carter Swidler with 5 deuce off.
I think the toothpick is a mistake unless it's flavored.
And he's going to re-raise to 67,000. That's the wrong time to get fancy.
He gets fancy and frisky on the button.
I call.
With his aces, Lunkin will make the call.
Lunkin will get tricky and hope to trap Swidler.
So the aces against 5 deuce. Lunkin in good shape. Here's the flop, heads up. 9 deuce 5, and getting fancy could pay off for Swidler. He hits 2 pair. Lunkin with the aces and the nut flush draw.
Lunkin got cute with the aces and he got out flopped, but that heart draw keeps the Russian favored.
He checks it. Swidler now. That's 55,000 with his 2 pair.
How much?
55.
They both think they got the other one right where they want him. It's sort of like Bill and Hillary Clinton.
Lunkin now.
I raise.
With a check raised to 120,000.
I'm all in.
And all in from Swidler. And a quick call from Lunkin.
Bang, bang, bang. Big pot. Swidler all in, Lunkin risking most of his chips.
Norman, if you're Vitali, what are you thinking? You got aces, and now you're up against 5 deuce, and you're in trouble.
It was David Goliath pre-flop, but Goliath now, as you say, in trouble.
All right, turn card now. Is a 6, and Swidler is now the favorite.
Lunkin can still knock out Swidler with an ace, 6, 9, or any heart.
Yes! It's a king, and Swidler wins the hand and cracks the aces of Vitali Lunkin.
Yeah, Lunkin hit aces on the flop earlier to double up on Swidler. Swidler now doubles up by cracking those aces. Hard to believe 5 deuce off could cause that much damage to pocket aces. Lunkin almost bankrupt.
Swidler's roller coaster ride here is on the upswing, while Vitali Lunkin may be contemplating the end of his magical World Series. Welcome back inside the Rio. Let's look at the PokerStars.net chip count. Some notable names, Elke and Ivy way down today. Gabe Walls is the new chip leader, but with plenty of challengers on his heels. And there is Walls putting some pressure on Peter Eastgate by raising the champ all in after the flop.
Eastgate has played most of this main event on the edge. He's again put to the test here for all his chips.
Eastgate does lead with kings up. Walls, though, with the nut flush draw.
I call.
Peter does put himself at risk.
Calls 155.
That's a flip. Oh, you have the king of diamonds. You stick up.
Hold on to the Steelers.
Walls looking to end Eastgate's back-to-back bid.
Bring a 7.
Don't give him a 7. He already won this thing once.
Turn card now. 9 of spades. Peter 1 card from doubling.
An ace or a diamond sends Peter Eastgate home.
River card is a 6 of clubs, and Eastgate wins it again and doubles up.
Eastgate's impressive run continues.
The only other surviving member of the November 9 is Dennis Phillips. His pocket tens have Benjamin Kang in trouble, but Kang with 2 overs. Deuce on the turn. Kang 1 card from the rail. River card is a jack, and Kang doubles up.
By the way, he won.
Dennis just didn't match up well there. A severe height disadvantage against Kang.
Phillips does manage to remain good-natured about it. Not a big hit. Dennis has added $300,000 to his stack on this day of play. Let's catch up with Dan Harrington after a flop of ace, queen, queen. Dan bet $56,000 into New York poker pro Eric Buckman.
Buckman has made 2 World Series final tables.
It's $56,000 to call. And Buckman raises to $156,000.
I'm all in.
And Dan shoves all in.
When Dan Harrington goes all in, people usually go out. Action Dan understands the latter stages of tournament play as well as anybody.
Dan with a big-time Harrington on Hold'em play right there. He'll take the pot.
Peter Eastgate, Dennis Phillips, Dan Harrington. Great second acts brewing out there. Harrington actually on his 5th or 6th act.
Back to the featured table now. Some very powerful poker minds sitting here as well. Since Buller's early rush, Norman, nobody really taking charge of this table.
Jeff Schulman always looks like he's ready to take charge.
Andrew Black needs to take charge. He is short on chips. Black looks down at pocket 4s.
Black made a World Series final table this year in pot limit Omaha high-low. That's a tough game to learn right, Lon.
A raise just short of 3 times the big blind to $23,000.
Do you want me to teach you PLO high-low? I could mold you in my image.
I'll take the lesson, but pass on the image thing. Jeff Schulman with pocket 8s in the big blind. Schulman just with a call. So heads up between 2 men who have made a main event final table.
Schulman did it in 2000, Black in 2005.
Here's the flop. It is 10-8-5. Schulman hits a set of 8s.
In terms of facial hair grooming, Andrew Black with a big advantage on Jeff.
Jeff slow plays his 3 8s.
But Andrew Black doesn't bite.
Turn card is a deuce. Schulman now with a check mark. Black drawing dead.
And it looks like Jeff Schulman will wait no longer with his set.
He thinks 40,000 is enough. Black can't get his chips in quickly enough.
Boy, Andrew could be hurrying towards trouble.
Another 5 on the river. Schulman now improves to a full boat.
And Jeff taking a look and eyeing Andrew Black's last chips.
110.
Schulman will put Black all in.
Call.
Black makes the call and sees that he has been eliminated.
Black's main event over in a flash. I never saw that blow up coming.
And he does seem to have difficult moments late in the main event.
Well, this was silent and lethal. Jeff Schulman busts Andrew Black.
This was Black's first main event cash since his final table in 05, but he's none too happy about it.
Another spectacular blow-up.
Andrew Black sees another fine main event showing and unsatisfactorily and suddenly.
So Black blows up. He's out in 351st place. He'll take home almost $30,000, but that surely does not take the sting out of that elimination. Jeff Schulman rakes in the chips, and Black looks for the nearest exit. Andrew is not the only top pro to hit the rail. After a valiant battle in the main event and an amazing World Series run, Vitaly Lukin has also been eliminated. Jeff Schulman's day is off to a good start, while Elke has yet to get anything going. It hasn't been easy for Phil Ivey either, but they both will continue on, as will a few big talkers. And several big-name pros. It's day 5 and no one is backing down.
We're just getting started.
For Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran. We'll see you next time from the World Series of Poker.